Hello there, Hillary, coming to connect with you and have a conversation around change. It's the first video that I'm recording and my first share in January 2023. Now, if you're listening to this in July, pay attention because there's still something to be received and even to consider or, stew on. So let's talk about this time of year brings such a little bit of an inner conflict for me. I don't know if this happens to you, but I look out my window. I live in the north where the hours of sunlight are a lot shorter right now, and the weather is kind of cold. And I know I'm not a bear, but I just want to hibernate and cuddle up in my fuzzy blankets and relax and chill and have lots of downtime and just kind of calm. But also at the same time, this new year happens. And everyone's like, new year, new you, beginnings, yay, reset, start over. And then in my own home, I put away Christmas decorations, which were so fun to enjoy. But when you clear them out and it's a new space, it's almost like it's the same, but it's the new space, right? And it feels new. And so there's this inner twining, a conflict of two different energies of wanting to just rest and hibernate and then get it going and get things moving, and it's just this inner conflict. And so I was like thinking, how can I help myself through this? And maybe this can help. Me talking through this can help you if you're feeling the same way, whether it's January or March or October, whatever it is. Maybe it can help you. So I was really thinking about seasons, and sometimes our seasons of our lives don't match necessarily the season of the climate that we're in. And seasons can be different too in relationships. Summer can be really long, and that's fantastic. Or maybe winters can feel long, or spring, right? There's just, our seasons of our life can feel different. So I want you to think about, as we're talking about the seasons, not just even the time of year, but even maybe where your life is. Where your health and wellness is, where your financial goals are, where your relationship goals are, where your learning and even in entertainment and relationship, like fun goals, social goals are. So I want you to think about that. So I was really thinking about the trees that are out front. They don't have any leaves right now, and it just looks like they're just there doing nothing. But I'm curious if I could understand or see at the molecular level what they're doing. They're in some sort of state that is creating and preparing them. That as the days and the sun get longer, sunlight gets longer, and they start to be able to take on more energy and cultivate that. There's something happening right now to prepare them for that, so that they can be ready to bud. So they don't bud in June, and they don't blossom in June. By June, their buds have come, the blossoms have come, the pollination has come, and then so that the right season they can have their leaves, and then they can have their fruit, right? So thinking about that with my life, giving myself some grace in this January. I guess that's the conversation, is not justifying my behavior, but giving myself some grace around in each arena. Some of my health, I have some fitness goals that I already was preparing. I started back in, my beginnings were in August 2022. And so those have been moving and going. And now I'm just like at a reset and like reevaluate kind of state. So those ones feel easy, and I can just kind of up level and add on to those. So it's, I don't know, easy, but easier because I'm not making a full change. Anytime we make a full change, it feels a little bit harder, and that's okay, right? So also recognizing for things to change, we must change. So when you're looking back at 2022 and doing some reflection, and don't stew in it or reminisce, but do look back and go, what did I love and want to recreate? What did I love, want to recreate, and I could even up level or create make it even better? What did I not love? And how can I create something different? And by evaluating, that moves you from stage 1 to 2 in our 5 stages of change. Okay, there's 5 stages of change. And stage 1 is pre-contemplative state, which is a state where we don't maybe even resist, or we choose not to see, or we don't evaluate, and we don't notice even that any change is needed to be. Now, if your life is amazing and perfect, then maybe you don't need to change it. But if there are some areas that you're like, oh, I would love that to be a little different, for things to change, we must change. Something else isn't going to come along and create change. For things to change, I must change. For things to be better, I must be better. So we get to have the courage to start looking at it and go, where was it? Where do I want to up level? Where would I like a little bit, where wasn't it working? And moved from the pre-contemplative state to the contemplative state, where we begin to just think about it. And maybe if you haven't been thinking about it at all, maybe January is the beginning of the contemplative state. Maybe it's not the action state yet. And maybe contemplative state only needs a few days. Maybe it needs a week, maybe it needs a month. It depends on what it is. But just acknowledge, okay, have I been even in any contemplative state? Now, if you've already been thinking about some changes that get to happen, there are some things that I knew all last year and I didn't take action on. And now I was in the contemplative state, and then the third state is preparation and determination. I was in that state too long. And the problem of staying in state 2 and 3, contemplative and preparation and determination state, too long, is we're putting a lot of energy and thought into it without getting any results. It just starts to feel frustrating. It's like you're spinning your wheel. So I just knew January 1, nope, even though I'm in a hibernation state, actually the cost of not moving forward into the action state, which is number 4, is more painful than moving into it. It's so painful to stay in the contemplative state because I've been knowing. I've stayed there too long, using so much energy with no results. So let's go back. Pre-contemplative state, not even seeing it, maybe even resisting it. Shifting to contemplative state, being willing to evaluate, take note. Now, in that state, remember to stay out of judgment. It doesn't help you to criticize or berate or condemn yourself. That will make you go back into your hibernation cave. So my invitation is, with grace and patience, say, okay, I'm ready for a change. It's that determination, right? So moving into the contemplative state, and then start to prepare. The preparation state, see, that's what the trees are doing right now. They're preparing for the budding and for the spring and the growth. And so right now, maybe you are in a preparation state. Maybe you need to gather resources or connect with people to make that move. Maybe you're gathering and creating a support team. Maybe you're gathering your thoughts. I don't know. But what I do know from my own mistakes, don't stay in contemplative or preparation state too long. It's actually more torturous than just taking the action, even if you're nervous about the action. I promise. Anyway, so step 4, once you have some preparation in state, take action. Now, here's what I've learned. You don't have to have everything in the preparation state to take action. Get some things ready, take some small steps, and it will help you get momentum to keep going and preparing and keep getting things set up. Okay, that's kind of like a play back and forth. Prepare, take action, prepare, take action. And some people are a ease into, and some people are a dive into. Honor who you are and where you are. And if you're a dive into and that's not working for you, practice shifting that up. If you're a tiptoe into it and that's not getting done what you want to get done, try a dive into. See what that looks like. We're practicing this. Because if you're not practicing it, then you're not doing anything. And then we'll get to the end of 2023 and go, maybe like I did last year, and be in the I've been thinking about doing this for a long time and I haven't done it. So my invitation to you is acknowledge where you are in the contemplative state, maybe even in the pre-contemplative state, and where you could start to assess and evaluate what's working, what's not working. Move into what needs to happen, what resources you need to collect, what you can create to put it into action, and then start taking action. And let the momentum of taking action give energy and feedback to more preparation. And even sometimes we go back to contemplation and we go, okay, that's not working all the way. How can I shift it up? Okay, how can I prepare for that change? Allow yourself to flow through those stages and then take action. And then when you start to find the fit for you, it's gonna be springtime. And then whether that's for reals, like in my world, springtime for me, or if it's just in your life that you feel the budding starting to happen, the blossoming starting to happen, it's going to give you that momentum and that excitement to continue forward. And once you've been taking action, consistent action is the goal here. Show up imperfectly and consistently. I will write you a permission slip that it can be imperfect and you can keep trying and keep practicing, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. You don't get better at it until you do more. My preschoolers, when they come in September and they don't know how to write their name, I get so frustrated that it doesn't look just like the printed out form that I have in front of them. And I say, let's just keep working on it. It's okay. We haven't figured this out yet. It's okay. Keep practicing. And then the day they are able to form their letters, they get so excited. And what happens is when you keep showing up for yourself, you experience and you develop a self-confidence, and your self-concept becomes that you're trustworthy and that you can count on yourself and you show up for you. And when you can count on yourself and show up for you, others can count on you and you can show up for them. And then you see others and how they show up for you. It just is this cool thing. And when it begins here, it shows up here. So steps to change: pre-contemplation. Notice where you're there and where you're not. Contemplation, start considering what's working, what's not working. Preparation and determination. What do you need to get ready to get going? And then make sure to not get ready, because that's what I do when I feel like it needs to look perfect. But what if you just get going and then you go, oh, I can change this up. I need this to prepare to change it up. Okay, and we're going to keep going and taking action and build momentum and increase that confidence. And then we get to a place of maintenance where we can learn to maintain. Now, maintain sounds easy. Now, planting a garden, like prepping a garden, planting a garden, that's a lot of work, especially if there was never a garden there before. But maintaining a garden is still a daily and a weekly action, right? So think about these states. Where are you at? Maybe you're in a maintenance state and it just needs some evaluation and it needs some celebration, and maybe it needs some support, or maybe you just take it through the steps, or maybe you're in an action state. Please don't forget, if we think of the season of the year, there's the dormant state where we're preparing. Then there's the budding, the blossoming, the taking action. And then there's the you keep going, the preparation and feeding that tree so the fruits can grow. And then you get the fruit, and then you harvest the fruit. And then think about the time after the harvest. We have a lot of celebrations happening in our world around after harvest. A lot of cultures do. When you have created a harvest, please don't forget to celebrate. Celebrate you, celebrate all the support you have, just celebrate and have gratitude. Not that you can't celebrate through it. Like if you have small harvests, celebrate those, right? So those are the 5 steps. Let's just remember them again: pre-contemplation, contemplation, prepare and determination, action and maintenance. Notice where you are in your life, in areas of your life. If in one area you're in a contemplation, another one you're in action or maintenance, that's okay. Make some notes on it and notice where it needs your attention and focus. And that's okay. So hopefully, and as I've talked to you, I'm feeling even better about this. So thank you for letting me talk it out. And I am excited. And remember that beginnings can begin at the beginning of a year, in the middle of a year, at the beginning of a month, in the middle of a month, at the beginning of a week, in the middle of a week, or at the beginning of a day, or even in the middle of the day. You could always start over. Thank you. Until next time.